All right. This is not a session on how to use USA test prep. This is a session on looking at the way that we can better prepare our students for the upcoming milestones using USA test prep. I think you all know how to use USA test prep, which is a bonus. We're looking at what we're doing is we're looking at a uniform way that will that we can get the best out of preparing the students for the milestone test in a guided way, instead of all these different ways. Whatever we do or whatever we have done in the past to prepare them, this is a uniform way that we feel like through using USA test prep, we can get more bang for our buck as far as looking at what the students are doing, as far as looking at the data, making sure that we one-on-one address the students for whatever these assessments tell us that they need individual work on. I think earlier they were getting caught up in the fact that we already use USA test prep. That's not what this is for. This is a structured way of how to prepare for the milestone.
I still can't get into it because, I mean, as far as American Lit, it still says not purchased.
Okay.
I will say this, while we don't have an American Lit subscription, we do have a 9th grade subscription, and if I'm not mistaken, all the standards are the same.
Yeah.
The text that they use is probably gonna be a little different.
Okay.
But we do have that, but I think we do probably need to try to get an American literature
Yeah,
subscription.
because that's a milestone.
What's that?
That's a milestone course.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we'll call and get that
Okay.
purchased. But this is the structure of it,
Okay.
not how to use USA.
Right.
Yeah, I'm with you.
And what I have to keep reminding folks is when, at the beginning of this year, our USA test prep prescription was canceled because of the lack of usage. Now all of a sudden, we all know how to use it, but that's neither here nor there. This is a milestone boot camp, is how we're going to, and you all decide how many weeks out you need to start your boot camp. You all, most of them are saying 2 weeks out. But I just I asked Mr. McCoy to show the process, because he and I were talking, I guess Friday. And he coming here and we were talking about preparing for the milestone, and he was showing me this boot camp thing that he's used and I wanted us to adopt. So this is why I asked him to do a PLC on it. Now, if you can use USA test prep, that just makes it even better because it's just a process.
Maybe this question will get asked later. If we're using USA test prep, which great way, I mean, it's pretty much directly, if you got any questions.
Right.
What do we do with all in learning to show that we're doing the data?
Now you're talking about we're going to do, once we go to this boot camp, the all-in learning, this boot camp is going to do pretty much the same thing, but the focus is on getting ready for the milestone.
So if our kids are taking quizzes in USA test prep and any questions come up, we can just show that I can log into USA test prep and show my data from there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna show you that.
Yeah.
Well, I know how to use it.
I'll show you that.
Yeah, to satisfy, absolutely.
Yeah, I know how to use it. I use it.
This is like, that's what the whole, this is replacing.
Yeah.
This is to show you, this is part of the boot camp. You need
And
to
a
be
little more
able to pull that data.
streamlined.
Yeah.
If you can go ahead and create your quizzes,
Yeah.
great idea.
So doing
Hey,
doing that boot camp time, if we're doing it 2 weeks every day, then all in learning is on the side.
I'm with you.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, all right.
All right, so what I do is when we come back, obviously I didn't know about principal day until today, so it will start on Tuesday. But I will go and start on now. Now granted, this is econ. I have 5 units total. I'm finishing 5 now, so there's not a need to remediate personal finance as much. So I focus on, obviously, August, September, the first semester. That's my main focus and all that. Now, you all know your domains. You get those from the GOD. So I have my domains split up with 5 units, 20, 20, 20, just about. I have it made on that end. I'm lucky in that. But what I do is I teach for 2 days. I have a long, like 100-something slides, pictures, examples, and we run through it. And I use key things that would make them remember what we talked about. If I did an activity, if we did a trade game, if I did the way I teach marketing, I would bring that up to see, y'all remember when we did this, blah, blah, blah. Instead of just sitting there, and I said, then we go through and we'll do a couple activities those 2 days. Then on the 3rd day, they take a test over that. I do a USA test prep, and they have to make an 80 to stop. Because I'm comfortable with, they can make an 80, that means I'm getting distinguished on the milestone. I'm happy with that. A lot of my kids are going to go beyond that, and they can take as many times. Well, they have iPads. I use iPads, not Chromebooks, because I don't have to type. I'm very lucky. Y'all have typing. Y'all will need, Chromebooks. Mine just have to hit a button. So what I do is I supplement. What they do is, okay, so I'm going to do an example I showed you. Here's
All right, now, Mr. McCoy, when you take the test, I want to make sure I'm clear. When you do the review, and then you make the test through USA Test Prep.
Yes, sir.
And when you do the review, you're looking at a certain standard and certain domains.
Yeah, I'm going to pull that up right now. I'll show you. Yeah, yes, sir. Yeah, we talked about that.
All right.
And, of course, I cannot speak on y'all's standards because I don't know. I know the literacy stuff because I still use my literacy standards, but y'all have actually your GSE standards that go along with the literacy standards. All right, so what I do is when you go through my assessments, and basically I will, I could do all that, but all I got to do is actually just go to my assessments, which y'all know how to do, and create new. So we're going into econ, so I'm going to put PLC, practice, ELA. And that's not, but see, I'm going to go down to econ GSE updated, and they'll tell you, and they offer, it's in the language, when 4 years ago when I went to the milestone, I helped write the new milestone, they asked for our input, and I was like, where is all this going? They said, USA Test Prep's going to get these practice and these samples. So that's when it clicked, and I've been using it ever since, and my scores have consistently been in the 80s and 90s because of that. And I really attribute because they got to see it all the time, and they heard me talk like this and all that. And for a lot of our kids, as y'all know more than any of us, their lexicons are very low, and and stuff like that. So what I do is when you go to fundamental, that's my first name, and here are my standards. All right, as you know, and I can click individually, and it's going to pop up. So if I'm prepping myself, I can say, all right, they got to be able to define opportunity costs, compare and contrast strategies, and analyze means of productions of a PPC. So right there, I'm going to focus on just that content, application of that. All right, there's a good opportunity. I'll start off with a DOK 1 or 2, defined or example. I don't want to discourage them with a heavy writing because my kids, and I think y'all will testify this, when they see a big passage, they almost want to quit right off the bat. So I ease them into it. I go DOK 1 or 2, then I go a couple of 3s, and then I go back to something easy so they understand that it's not, because the milestone's not all strenuous like that, at least on my end. And so we do all that. So we've already done some, and here's what I love about this. So they take their test, and so this is a test over material I have not taught yet. As you can see, I have a lot of purples, which was expected. I wanted this. I have a few yellows, which means they knew a little bit. And then, of course, I had 1 or 2 greens that we all have those students that are going to make it no matter what we do. All right, so what I do is they take their quiz from me after I've reviewed for 2 days. They come back and they say, Coach McCoy, I don't have an 80 yet. I can pull up what they missed, literally. I can click on their name. I can go through their entire test. Not give them, just show them what they missed. I can go with it one-on-one. You can do it one-on-one. Some kids you can get what they missed, they'll go back and they'll be on their own. But my lower levels, I'm going to sit with them and say, look, all right, so if we're talking about an investment option and high rate of return, I remember, tell me the definitions of all these, and I can walk them through it and be on their way and do that remediation. Or, what I love about this program is I can actually go back without even worrying about it and hit assign individual weaknesses. I can hit 1, 2, or 3, and it's going to send them new material over the stuff they missed. To me, that is wonderful in this program. This is halt time simplified. So at halt time, I have it nonstop going. I think you did walk and witness it yesterday. I had a group with me, I had individuals going, and what I'm doing is, I wish it could get streamlined like Google Forms, because Google Forms got a real time like that. But that's what I can do So I'm really monitoring everybody and still working with those individually. And when they have iPads, they can come sit beside me a little more easier. And that's why I like using the iPads for my content. Yes, sir.
Where did you go to get to that?
You just go, you go to your assessments, and if you've already done one, see the results. See, all you gotta do is go to results, click on the results, and it's gonna be up here. And what you do is you can do it as a group. If you wanna do the group, like make them all do it again, but if you've got those kids making 95s, leave them alone, because we can accelerate them on something else. So what you want to do is just go assign individual, and you'll have to remember. You can go down here, look at the name, like Juwan. I just want to hit. He's weak on 2 areas. I hit 2 weaknesses. It picks what he's weak on. You don't even have to do that, and it's all standard based. Element. I mean to the element. It breaks it down.
The actual question types, so the way that they ask their questions.
But that's what they need to see, because that's what the milestone says.
Yeah, because there's like a dozen different types of questions on that test, but.
This is the only thing that this test will not do, or the USA Test Prep will not do, but the milestone doesn't do it. They won't use the word examine, they'll use identify, because they're usually in our content, we're reading primary documents in U.S. history. Y'all are reading literature in U.S. history. Literature in that time frame is not going to be altered, it's going to be, it is what it is. Most of the quotes are going to be how they said it. They might say identify the concept portrayed in the quote above, but they won't say they're going to keep it true to whatever they're speaking of in that content. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah.
And so, but what I'm saying is, what I love about this is everybody's getting their weaknesses filled. So, and when we come back, and this is the data that all the learning can't show you. All that learning can't show you that specific, because remember, we test everybody as a class. Now you're getting individual data. That matters, because I could have a kid who sees what everybody else is pushing, and you know that happens, but when they're one-on-one on an iPad, it's on them. And they don't, and so, they get 4 test grades, and for my seniors, what I'm doing is they're getting 4 daily grades. So the minimum they make is an 80 if they complete it. If they don't complete it, I'm zapping them and sending them to the 7th hour and getting them that way. Because, as you know, I run out of grades. I take the milestone before all y'all, April 22nd. I'm sitting there for 5 weeks. So this is a chance for me to get 5 good grades in, to boost their GPAs a little bit, who some of them have slacked off, because they've got to do it. If not, I zap them and I move on. Because the next day, I got to move on to the next content, because we have 2 weeks.
Now, let me ask you this. When you let a student retake, do they take the exact same assessment, or is that where you've sent something like
you can let them take the same exact if you just love those questions, because we're only showing them what they missed. It's not going to give them the answer. Yeah. So they got to go back but I'd rather show them what they missed, because that one kid who'll guess wrong because he thought he missed it. You got to let them know what they missed. Yeah. But what I'm saying is, if you've got time, if you know the kid can do it on his own, you show him what he missed. But that kid who needs that concept, so you say, look, all right, here's what you missed. Explain to me why. I always ask them why they chose the wrong answer. Yeah. I can help you find the right, but tell me why you're thinking in that area. Because if you show them why they're wrong, getting right is the easy part. And we're all like that, even adults. If you tell us what we do wrong, we can fix it better than you can tell us when we're not right. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So I do that with my students, and it really helps them. But I think that, and the thing is like with my ones I'm worried about, I get that one-on-one time with them. And, and I tell them, I said, you're either going to do it, or Coach Greg's going to pay you a visit. He's already told me, I put it on the boot camp. You will be sent, immediately. I'm not even going to wait and say, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. No. And another thing is they can do it at home, and your good students, our ones are honored, they're going to do it at home. And if you want to accelerate themselves, click over to the AP and throw some AP questions. But also, and Terry brought up a good question today, and me and him playing a lot together too. Say if they're done, you're going to have the kids that get done, right? Mm-hmm. Just go to home, and what you can do is, click on your resource. So 9th grade lit, that's you, right? Mm-hmm. You can do a game, a performance task. You can put them in a group and do a scoreboard where they got to compete with each other. They have to turn it in. You have to see that they completed it. So what I'm saying is, how I'm doing it, I need the grades, because we're just at that point. But what you could do is do a total score. Y'all all need 500 points by the end of the milestone prep. And just assign points per activity too, along with your quizzes. And I can help you set all that up. I know this forwards and backwards. I've been using it for 5 years now, and it's really helped. But the thing is, Keep them on track. Don't have no, once principal's day over, they've had a week off, he gives them that day we come back to unwind. I run it like a boot camp because I'm telling you, they don't understand. Maybe Miss Salisbury can't tell me 20% of your final grade changes everything. You can lose hope, you can lose your A. They've got to know that we give a damn about them. I want them to be successful. I could care less about what I look like as scores. I don't want a child to go all year long with an A, do something with a milestone, lose their scholarship. One test shouldn't dictate their future, but this does. I've had kids who have lost hope because they goofed around with a milestone. And I warned them. I mean, I've already had a couple students saying, I'm just going to click everything. I said, well, I'm going to give you every reason not to. I physically can't make him do it. But I said, I'm not going to quit because you are. I said, but please don't be ignorant to the fact that you're capable. I said, I got kids who can't even read who would love to be able to do this and not struggle. I said, and you're, that. But what we do is I just make a routine. Now, I don't know, how many standards do y'all have in LIP?
30 and 40 probably.
Well, see, we got 23 in U.S. history, so me and Terry are taking our domains. So like a colonization is a low domain. You want to focus on your high domains with this. Or anything you struggle. Now, you can use it all in learning, but like I've kept data on whole time all year long, so I kind of know where I'm at. So what me and Terry did, we took the standards, we printed them, and we're going to decide how many questions per element, like 4, 3. So all I got to do is go. Now remember, you can split the load up where one of y'all take a unit and you share it. You don't have to repeat yourself. You don't have to do this individually. I mean, I can even make them for you if you told me. If you're not comfortable, give them to me. I'll make them and share them with you. I do not mind, because this can really, and if you use it all year and the kids are used to it, it goes even simpler. But I'm telling you, this is a wonderful. This is from the Department of Georgia sends them this material because they need it, because we have a lot of lower end schools who don't have the resources like Burnett and Warner Robins. We don't have that luxury. They bring in milestone specialists for their kids the weeks before, and have special after school, because these kids get picked up. They have cards where we don't. So this is our shot to, and that's why I do it. And the kids know I'm serious, because I want them focused, because the last thing I want to do is a 1 hour that week, because they need to be in the classroom. And this is their last shot. If they don't know I care about now, they're not going to know. But I fight them tooth and nail. I said, you're going to do it. You're going to be successful. And the thing is, if I put a 0 in that grade book, they know what's going to happen. The seniors know they're giving up their early release. Dr. Grace already does that anyway, but I told them we're doing it immediately. And I'll print out the boot camp I showed you. I'm going to print it out, and I'm going to actually give it to the seniors to sign. I'm going to sign a contract saying, I know that I'm required to make 80 or above, and I know that I will be losing my early release if not done. But also, I will know I'm sacrificing my GPA if I don't take the milestones seriously, because that's what I care about, the GPA. That's what I care about, them and that. But that's what it is. You drill, and the only thing I can't tell you is where your weaknesses are, because I don't know your domains. I can tell you what I got to focus on mine like that, because USA Test Prep, I've been gathering it all year. All in learning will have that too. But what I love and what really people need to understand is USA Test Prep can nail the individual child. And that's something All In cannot do. When you agree, you can see from the data. Think about it. You got a kid who has 5 weaknesses versus one that's only going to show up on USA on All In Learning. But this can actually help kids all year long with their weaknesses, especially like if they have trouble reading literacies. Guess what? You can give them that passage twice a week. Give them a passage to read. Give them to do an analysis, quick analysis on the iPad or whatever, and you'd be surprised the more as it reps. And and the thing is, hold them accountable. They know that this is for their grade. It's going to change it. And you got all the DOK. And when y'all go to choose your things, you can do DOK 3. You can do random. It's whatever you want. And I'll show you another thing that I was impressed with. And this is not going to look very impressive to y'all at the moment, but I think y'all will understand as a teacher what I did. If you go through, we're going to look at the one where I gave them, this was a pre-assessment, basically, if you want to call it that. If you go down here, and I look at the item analysis, what I love about this, look at the DOK. You can click on DOK, and that shows you how much percentage of DOK I did on that end. All right, and then you have your DOK 2 and 3. Now look at here. DOK 2 was 92%, but look at my DOK 3. All right, on a lot of my assessments where they failed, guess what my highest percentage was? DOK 3. So what I did is all year long, did DOK 3 nonstop.